Women are too emotional. A woman leader is aggressive. A woman with ambition is intimidating. A woman should stay soft.
Then show up. The premise of this episode is simple. By the way, you will stop seeing your gender as a weakness and start seeing it as an infinite source of power. Jingle. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode on Lio BodyMind, the podcast that builds your physical and mental power. Today's episode is special because we are talking about femininity, but not in the way you think. We were taught to survive in the world that rewards hardness, so we started confusing power with rigidity. You thought that to be respected, you had to be less sensitive, less intuitive, less sexual, less woman. We learned to smooth our voice, lower our intensity, apologize for our ambition. But let me ask you an uncomfortable question. What if your sensitivity is not a bug but an advanced detection system? What if your cycle is not instability but a biological algorithm for adaptation? Nobody taught us how to be powerful. They taught us to be acceptable, and those two things don't coexist. So today, we are not doing a secret femininity episode. We are talking strategy, biology, neuroscience, willpower, and here's a promise. By the end, you will stop seeing your gender as something to compensate for and start seeing it as an architecture of power. Okay, part number one, the lie of weakness. We live in the society that has long valued visible performance. Dominance, call control, war, competition, and inside that cultural system, we assign symbol. Masculine equals strength, feminine equals softness, and little by little in the collective imagination, we made associations. Softness is not the problem. The problem is what we decide softness meant. We turn a relational quality into a sign of inferiority, and there is something even more dangerous than that. Assigning one trait to an entire gender as if humanity works in two identical blocks. As if all women are the same, as if all men are the same, and it's intellectually lazy. Within the same gender, there are huge differences, opposite temperaments, complementary energy, different nervous system patterns. Women are not one category, men are not one category, and that's where the lie begins. Emotions equal weakness, softness equals submission, vulnerability equal fragility. But biologically, that fails. So what neuroscience actually suggests? Neurobiology research revealed that women often show stronger interhemispheric connectivity, meaning stronger communication between logic and emotion. That doesn't mean more emotional, it means more integrated. The insula involved in internal perception and empathy tends to be more active during relational tasks. And the prefrontal cortex involved in emotional regulation works in coordination with those circuits. Result, a higher ability to read microsignals, to detect social inconsistencies, to anticipate human dynamics. And that is not weakness, this is an advanced relational intelligence. And today, emotional intelligence is one of the best predictors of sustainable leadership. So when someone says you are too emotional, the neurological translation is closer to you are processing more information than I am. And here's my personal story. High-level sport taught me one thing: take it, don't cry, don't show it, don't let anything leak. Because hardness was and still is the norm. And for a long time, I thought my sensitivity was an handicap. That the fact that I could feel the mood of a group, sense invisible tension, predict people's reaction was too much. That one day I realized what I called too sensitive was actually strategic reading on the field. I knew when a teammate was doubting before she even spoke. I knew when the energy of the group was about to shift. I knew when a coach was not online. The weakness was never in my sensitivity. The weakness was in the belief that I had to delete it. And that's where so many women betray themselves. They try to correct what made them exceptional. The power of being a woman doesn't start with becoming harder. It starts with understanding what my nervous system already knows how to do. And this also means something important. We need to cherish our biology because there is nothing more precise than a nervous system, and especially a hormonal system. Your hormonal system shapes your perception of reality, and honestly, we are alive because we feel. Emotions are not extra, they are information. So now I want to talk about a topic many people avoid: hormones. And stay until the end because I'm not forgetting anyone here. Hormones have been presented as a problem: too hormonal, too unstable, too cyclical. But what people call instability is often an advanced adaptation system. The female body is biological, designed to handle pain, regulate emotion, and adapt continuously. This is not ideology, it's physiology. Hormonal fluctuations are a rhythm, and when you understand the rhythm, it becomes a strategy. The cycle has an intelligent energy. The menstrual cycle is an organized hormonal variation. When you enter in a follicular phase after your period, estrogen rises, dopamine increases, mental clarity improves, learning capacity goes up. Translation: this is a powerful time to start a new project, make big decisions, learn a new skill, push technical training. In sport, often better explosiveness and recovery. In business, often stronger strategy vision. When you enter in the ovulation phase, you have a peak of estrogen. Biologically, your body is right to influence, so it's a perfect time to pitch an idea, negotiate it, speak publicly, network, sell, and it's not mystical, it's just hormonal. When the luteal phase appears, you have higher progesterone, more introspection, sharper critical analysis. People often call this the difficult phase, but actually is an audit phase. You detect inconsistencies faster, your tolerance drops, and your clarity rises. And it's the best time to correct strategy, clean up your life, adjust your plan, analyze numbers, evaluate relationships, and this is an internal optimization. A woman who ignores her cycle suffers its variation. A woman who understands her cycles builds a strategy. In business, you plan your higher impact speaking moments in your high phase. You reserve analysis and deep thinking for your introspective phase. In sports, you adapt intensity, you schedule performance peaks, and you respect active recovery windows. In leadership, you use your emotional intelligence when it's at its sharpest. A well-calibrated woman is not unstable, she is cyclical. And the cycle is a form of biological optimization. Society worship linear consistency, but nature works in cycle, season, tides, circadian rhythm. So why demand that women function like flight machines? The problem is not your body. The problem is the lack of education about your body. And what if your cycle is out of balance? I want to pause it here because when we talk about the cycle as a superpower, some women feel excluded. Women with irregular cycles, intense pain, endometriosis, PCOS, amenorrhea, or hormone disruption linked to stress. And I want to be very clear. If your cycle is chaotic, that is not a failure, it's not an identity sentence. A disrupted cycle is often a signal. Your hormonal system is directly linked to nervous system stress, sometimes trauma-related, lack of sleep, undereating, overtraining, mental load. The female body is extremely sensitive to its environment. And what you are living can be a sophisticated alarm you need to take the time to listen to. People say the body speaks what the soul carries. So maybe your body is trying to tell you something. In this case, the goal is simple: restore safety in your nervous system. Lower chronic stress, eat enough, sleep deeply, and get medical support if you need it. And the last part, how to activate your power. Before we talk about activation, we have to talk about sabotage because most women don't lack power and neutralize it. And the most common mistake is copying masculinity to be taken seriously. For years, we were told that to be strong, we had to be hard. So we learned to reduce expressiveness, hide vulnerability, harden posture. But feminine power is not imitation, it's mastered polarity. A powerful woman can be soft and firm, empathic and strategic, vulnerable and dominant. That is not a contradiction, this is an integration. Willpower is not choosing one side, it's holding both. And the moment you believe your strength must look like someone else, you dilute your own. So how do we activate it for real? One, stop connecting your intensity. Your intensity is not too much. It's calibrated to your nervous system. What bothers people is not your energy, it's their tolerance level. The more you reduce your intensity, the more you reduce your impact. Two, stop apologizing for your sensitivity. Your sensitivity is a reading ability. It's contextual intelligence. You pick up nuance, micro shifts, inconsistencies. In business, it's a radar. In sport, it's anticipation. In relationship, it's strategy. Unregulated sensitivity can overwhelm you, but mastered sensitivity becomes leverage. 3. Learn your cycle. Your energy is not linear, it's cyclical. If you judge yourself with a constant standard, you will call yourself unstable. But if you learn to manage your phases, you become strategic, plan, anticipate, optimize. The problem is not the rhythm, the problem is that nobody taught you your rhythm. And 4, breathe your presence. Feminine power is embodied, not just mental. It's your breath, your pace, your gaze, your physical grounded. An aligned woman doesn't force dominance, she takes a space. Not because she is loud, but because she doesn't apologize for existing. The power of being a woman is not about becoming harder. It's about becoming more conscious, more integrated, and more strategic. And that's it for today. We worked out to hold ourselves back, but our power was never absent. It was simply misnamed. We are not too sensitive, we are lucid, we are not unstable, we are cyclical. And the day we stop correcting ourselves, we stop apologizing. A whole woman doesn't ask for her place. She embodies it, period. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another woman and take care of yourself, queen. And I will see you into the next one. Ciao, ciao.